Here's something totally different. Summer's Eve Feminine Wash, the first external feminine hygiene wash. It's non-irritating so you can feel fresh and confident every day. Summer's Eve Feminine Wash, the first cleanser for women only.
I was practicing my hook shot when she walked in.
Looks like we're working together.
Brains, talent, she had everything.
This story's hot.
Including bad breath.
Something wrong?
I moved to the right, the left. There was no escape.
Excuse me.
Somebody like her.
How could I forget Scoop? Bad breath germ, goodbye. Wow, I'll show him.
Oh, no, not again.
Hi.
Her breath.
I figured it out.
Right. For a positive reaction, the power of scope. Now that we cleared the air, we could finally get down to business.
Here's a place to belong.
You belong right here each weekday afternoon. Ricky Schroeder's the most happening guy in school on Silver Spoons at 5. At 5:30, join Murdoch and the men on an A-team adventure. And at 6:30, hang out with that cool kid Webster. The fun begins at 5 today right here on 50.
Chicago Power, Power, Power Station.
How would you explain it? A woman in Wisconsin is possessed by a terrifying feeling that her daughter has just been in an accident. She makes a desperate phone call and learns her feeling was true. And how can people around the world describe a being from space and have their descriptions match almost exactly? Maybe no one can fully explain these things, but they can no longer be ignored. That's why Time Life presents this new series, Mysteries of the Unknown, a serious look at what may lie beyond ordinary reality. How would you explain this? 4 men enter a shadowy ring of trees. One is grabbed by an unseen force and held suspended in the air. There are so many hints of a world more remarkable than we ever imagined. Examine your first volume and see if you can explain these things away.
To order Mystic Places, call 1-800-637-2000. Keep it and pay just $12.99 plus shipping and handling. Other books will follow, one about every other month. Keep only the ones you want. Cancel anytime. Call 1-800-637-2000.
Presenting Plastic Applicator Tampax Tampons. Comfortable, easy, plastic.
I want my plastic.
Tampax Tampons expand to fit your natural shape.
I want my plastic.
No tampon design protects you better. I want my plastic.
Plastic Applicator Tampax Tampons. The pick of the plastics.
If you took an Actifed tablet for your cold, there's something you should know. Contact maximum strength caplets work twice as long. Until there's a cure, there's contact.
If you were your cat, would you want plain cat food? Even gourmet cat food? No. You'd hunger for the bite-sized pieces of meat and fish in Amore dinners for cats. Look beyond gourmet. Give your cat Amore.
Now you can own one of the greatest gospel albums ever offered. With only giant hits and legendary stars like Aretha Franklin. They're all here in a special TV collection called Rough Side of the Mountain. Watch carefully.
I know that everything is gonna be all right.
You get Al Green's most exciting gospel hits.
Like he said he would. I feel like praising.
Shirley Caesar's Hold My Mule, her story song of thanks and praise.
I feel like praising him.
The Winans. The Clark Sisters, You Brought the Sunshine.
I'm a witness, I get a witness that Jesus might know Jesus. Won't it make
The Thompson Community Choir. Inspiring hits and stars like Thomas Whitfield, Inez Andrews, Marion Williams, and James Cleveland. This album is not sold in stores. Order by calling this toll-free number now, and you'll also get another Rough Side treasury with the New Jersey Mass Choir, the Angelics, gospel greats of the past,
touch me, Lord, dear.
Sam Cooke, Brother Joe May, Alex Bradford.
He went back up on the
Remember, call now and hear the sermon that's sweeping America. Watch Them Dogs.
Who in the hell left the gate open? Yes, Lord.
Sanja Crouch. Write this toll-free number down and call now. Get both Rough Side of the Mountain treasuries, only $14.98. And on all record and tape sets, we include the man who knows about rough side climbing, Reverend Jesse Jackson's most inspiring sermon.
It's moment time.
Call now for Rough Side of the Mountain.
It's new. It's neat. And so discreet. New Playtex Portables. A full-size tampon and a compact plastic applicator packed smaller. Playtex Portables. New, neat, discreet.
Today, leading health authorities, including cancer research specialists, urge us to eat foods rich in beta-carotene, foods like broccoli, spinach, kale. Today, we've added beta-carotene to a more complete Centrum formula. Centrum with more vitamins, including beta-carotene and minerals. More complete than any leading brand. Help support your diet with Centrum. More complete from A to Zinc. And for children, there's Centrum Junior. More complete than any leading children's chewable vitamin.
I'll never forget that morning. All I could think of was to reach Mr. Thomas's bake shop for one of his hot muffins with nooks and crannies and butter, and still make it to school before the switch. But that day, I would have had to pedal farther than ever before. Mr. Thomas had taken his muffins to America.
Thomas's English muffins. For over 100 years, England's breakfast tradition in America's hands.
A cheese riddle. Hey, Mom, what do you get when you add grated Parmesan to ordinary vegetable soup? A super kid's lunch. Remember, cheese makes it taste better, so don't forget the cheese.
Get ready for a new eye drop so refreshing you won't believe your eyes.
Wow.
Introducing new Visine Extra. An extra medication cools, soothes, moisturizes, and protects irritated eyes. New Visine Extra.
Thousands of the finest dogs came to compete, and Pedigree Dog Food proved to be the dog food of champions. 105 out of 137 best-of-breed winners were Calcan Pedigree dogs, raised on Pedigree, magnificently successful on Pedigree, and the most successful Pedigree dog, a Bichon Frise, judged best in show. No wonder top breeders recommend Pedigree.
Don't miss the Spring IKC Dog Show on Sunday, April 2nd at McCormick Place North.
Quick Stick, brought to you by Kmart.
Hi, little something I'm working on.
Climb every mountain.
There's a certain time of year when a person can think of nothing but going fishing. Fortunately, it's about that time Kmart can think of nothing but putting on the biggest fishing sale in America. The Kmart Fish America sale. It'll help you make history.
That's it? That's all? You gotta be kidding.
It does. Sure? If you thought dental cleanings were easy with Tartar Control Crest,
Can't believe it.
they just got easier. Well, that was fast. Introducing new and improved Tartar Control Crest.
You're all done? No.
The new Tartar Fighting formula that can actually help stop tartar before it starts. Piece of cake. Tartar Control Crest, the dentist choice, is now harder on tartar and easier on you. Thank you very much.
I won't wear any. Because Cross Your Heart has crisscross shaping.
Welcome, everyone. I hope everybody's having a fantastic Monday, if there is such a thing. You've got to read the entire title Okay. No, I did not interview this judge. She had an interview, which we're going to go over. I'm going to react to it. But yeah, how about those commercials are killing me, man. That dude talking about starts playing the Beatles and then goes climb every mountain. I was like, what the fuck? Like, that was supposed to be funny, and Kmart paid for that. That's what it was a shtick that Kmart sponsored. Weird. The 80s were weird, man. I think everybody with a job in television or film was on cocaine that year. So yeah. You're the only one saying echo Laura Stevens' life. So yeah. And yeah, I did set this to subs only mode because I don't know if I'm gonna have any mods in here. Cherry can't make it. Cherry is in the jolly old land of Ireland right now, and so she can't mod today. So I set it to subscribers only mode to make things much easier. And if somebody comes in here being a dick, please don't hesitate to time them out or hide them if you have a wrench. Even creators, if you want. Not that I expect you to do any work, but if they get on your nerves, feel free to use your wrench however you see fit. That's why you have one. You have carte blanche. So yeah, I'm going to go over this interview with Judge Jenny, as I like to call her. And it's because she was, if you follow the Darrell Brooks trial, Darrell Brooks is the person who in Wisconsin had mowed down people with his mom's SUV at a Christmas parade, of all things. Really disgusting individual, and he decided to represent himself in court when he was being tried, and he challenged this woman, to say the least. He was disrespectful towards her. He was intimidating. He was basically just abusive towards her, and she was a champion. So I obviously we were waiting, man. We were waiting for that moment that she earned so well. She earned that moment to be able to pass down sentencing. And she was classy, and she was just great. And so I still want to give her some attention because she deserves it. Any attention given to her, I see as attention taken away from Darrell Dipshit. And so let's get into it here.
Great to see you. Thanks for making time. I know there's limits to what we can talk about here, right? So we'll do our best to try to navigate through this. But this was such an important trial and moment for this community. What can you tell us about the experience for you and how you managed through this?
Well, I can't talk about the specifics of the case. I have some ethical considerations to be mindful of. What I can say is I was really honored that this case was assigned to me and given really the privilege of navigating through it from the beginning, not really knowing where it would all go. Certainly the amount of time that I spent on the case was longer than any case I had personally been involved with, whether as an attorney or as a judge.
Okay, yeah, I see the comments. So yes, I will admit that I have a slight celebrity crush on this lady. It's a compliment. It's not to disrespect or demean her in any way, shape, or form. What I find attractive about her is the fact that she is such a strong and an accomplished person. That is the most attractive quality about her. But mainly, I'm doing this out of sheer respect for her, and because she was an incredible civil servant. She was incredible. the way that she handled that case. I can't imagine somebody so young with such little experience being put under that kind of pressure. And the way that she handled it was amazing.
To set aside an entire month of my calendar, but it a lot of long days.
All right, tonight Neil Young dropped in to say hi. We were filming a movie.
Neil
Can you
Young
explain
dropped
this?
by to say hi.
We're just making a.
We're just making a film.
Support from my colleagues was truly, truly amazing. And we often say, you know, when you have a case like that, you don't go through it alone. And my colleagues were tremendous in their support and helping me out in a variety of different ways.
So talk about that, because you're the chief judge in Waukesha County, but there's a team. You have a team, and there was a lot of people involved.
I knew it.
How did you manage the team?
I knew
Sure.
it. So she was the leader of the team, but she had a bunch of like experienced judges like having her back. Like when she would be like, I'm taking a break right now. We're taking a recess. I'm taking a break for a second so I can woosah, so I can breathe. And I knew it. She had a bunch of like colleagues back there going, dude, you got this. You can do this. I mean, and that's not because she's a woman and she's young. Anybody. I can't imagine any judge, I don't care how many years experience they have, just being like, you know, like that's another day at work. No way. This guy was the epitome of a ball breaker.
So could not do something like this, really any trial, without the team with the clerk of courts, our district court administrator, my in-court and out-of-court team, so my deputy clerk and legal clerk, my court reporter, of course, and so many logistics. And there's a lot of planning, a lot of team building, of course, needed.
Was that justice? Thank you. Great handle, by the way. Will Judge Jenny deserves a dance? Anytime, Judge Jenny. Anytime.
Needed the sheriff's department involved because they're in charge of courtroom security. And then, of course, the jail for any time there's an in custody defendant, they have to be involved as well. So a lot of communication. I really take my hats off to our clerk of court, Monica Paz, and our district court administrator, Mike Nyman, for really taking the brunt of all of that and keeping things organized so that I could focus on the task at hand.
So how did you stay focused? You knew this was a big community event, but it was also attracting national attention, also had some political narratives attached to it as well. So how did you manage all the attention and the distractions?
Honestly, I just did my job every single day like I would for any case, and that's being prepared. For the start of jury selection, for example, I take a large role in that, which is different than some judges and how I conduct jury selection for all of my cases. And I'll even go back before my day even starts. I'm a strong woman of faith, and without that, I think it would be hard pressed to get through something with such stress and pressure. And
see, I think that's incredibly interesting right there. Her saying that she is a strong woman of faith before she even starts her day. You know, she's basically implying that she prays to be just and to have the strength to deal with the day and have to, you know, I mean, just imagine being a judge and having to see evidence in these horrible crimes for a living. You know, another day at work is you looking at pictures of dead bodies, hearing testimony from really fucked up people. And it's, I can imagine that takes a psychological toll, and enough of a psychological toll will take a toll on your soul, on your being, on who you are, if you let it. And so her method is faith, and I think that's very commendable. I think it's very respectable. So I can imagine also every time this dude was mocking that by staring at the Bible and not actually reading it, just looking down and staring at the Bible so he didn't have to show any respect to his victims, using God and faith as some sort of excuse and some sort of he even actually at one point blamed God for his actions. And I thought that was disgusting. Okay. Sorry, I had to do something real quick. So I thought that was just really, really disgusting. Yeah, he's already sentenced my Michelle. We covered that stream and it took like hours and hours and hours because he had the right to speak. And so he just blabbered on and on and on. And this amazing woman sat through all of it to a point to where she had to step in and strategically get him to a point so that she can move on with the sentencing. So I could just imagine someone really being of faith, a person of faith, and then seeing it mocked and how trying that would be to see it mocked by somebody who refused to take any accountability for his actions.
And the weight of everything. And that's day in and day out for any judge. So I start my day every day reading my Bible and in prayer to kind of put myself in the right attitude and mindset. I truly, truly believe that what I do is not a career, it's a calling. And that I serve the people of the state of Wisconsin and the citizens of Waukesha County. And that's my focus. That's what keeps me going.
It sounds like she's campaigning. That sounds like a lot like campaigning there. Good for her.
The rights for not just victims, but defendants. And I take that role really, really seriously. And that's how I went about each and every day, and a lot of preparation. I have a wonderful law clerk. I mean, there are certain issues you can predict may come up. And so we were prepared with all of those. And then if issues would come up, I, of course, would have him work on things, and then I would take those in and run with it and make the decisions that I needed to make.
So how did you provide that balance, though? You knew the impact that this tragedy had in the community, but you also knew what your role was going to have to be as a judge.
Introducing the first ever Sierra EV Denali. It is the Denali of EVs.
Denali.
Hello, I'm Patrick Stewart.
Hello, I'm Professor
Did you know
Xavier.
that right?
Professor Xavier.
Following the law is a great thing to do, right? And I would do that in any case, not just this case, and really focus on what does the law say and how do I apply that to this particular case or any case that comes before me.
So when you talked about all that time this took, this was the longest trial you ever participated in?
Yes.
You probably anticipated that, though, right?
I did. I set that time aside back in one of the first court appearances before me.
But tell me what it's like to be Judge Dorow. Everybody knows what you're doing in the courtroom, but you have to leave the courtroom to come home, go places. So how did you manage that? In essence, are you like a juror? You really can't talk to anybody, right?
Well, I can talk to my colleagues, right? That is one thing that even the rules of ethics support. And so I'd rely a lot on my colleagues to decompress, to bounce ideas or
she just said
that I would have
that
to
was
make.
That was the first thing she went to, was to decompress. Like, Lord help me with this motherfucker. Oh my God. And then have these other judges like, just breathe. Just breathe. You want something to punch? You want something to hit? Hold on, let me get a pillow. Let me get you a pillow. You could just scream into it, okay? We're all here for you.
And say, what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? They were incredible to do that with. And then, of course, just coming home and really unwinding
Oh, yeah.
I think we all have our favorite TV shows that we like to watch, and I still.
Oh man, don't tell me, Judge Jenny, that you're all alone. Please don't tell me that. After every one of those days that you endured, my wish was not coming true, that you had this amazing partner there, this man there that was rubbing your feet, drawing you a bath with scent fucking things that you throw in. I don't know what the hell you women do with those baths. You didn't have somebody cooking you at the most amazing meal every night. You didn't have somebody rubbing your back and your shoulders. And let me just stop right there. Let me stop right there. Okay, we're gonna move on. Oh, that's a crime.
I still was mom. I have 3 children, 2
Damn.
of which are really out of the house, either in school or working. And then my younger one is 12, and she's a very competitive athlete. So there were
Okay,
nights.
so she's got the kids busy. Okay, so she's not. This lady's just incredible, dude. She's raising 3 kids, or has raised at least 2, or at least 1, and she's married. Okay, her husband better take care of her. Husband better had.
Nights I was driving to Illinois with her because that's where she trains.
Stepdaddy,
And,
okay.
But that was kind of a nice time for me to share with her as well. And there were other times when I rely on her teammates. We have some teammates from up here as well to help out with the rides. And of course, my husband was amazing. And
all right,
I joke around that.
There we go.
At least the first 2 weeks, I needed protein in the middle of the week. And I said, we have a great restaurant down the street. And I got a steak, brought it home, and it kind of fed me for a couple of days. And just tried to relax each night.
Okay, hubby was taking care of business. That's what I like to hear.
Get a good night's sleep, and then start each day as I would any other day, just to keep focused.
Did friends, want to say something to you? Did you try to avoid the news because you just didn't want to see what was happening?
I wouldn't say I avoided the news. I wanted to kind of see what was out there, out of curiosity more than anything. But really just focused on regrouping each night and getting rest, and making sure that I was ready to go for the next day.
Were you surprised by all the letters that came in for you?
Absolutely. I should tell you, I haven't even read them. So they started coming in, and I can't consider ex parte communication.
Some would look at that as like, okay, well, that's kind of snobbish. I don't see it that way. I think that she's going to explain one aspect of it, at least, where you can't. I mean, communication from the outside is probably not a good idea. Any communication, even if it's just incoming, it's probably unethical. But also, I mean, I like that the last thing on her mind was fan mail. You know what I mean? She was all business. She was all just focused on the task at hand, and I think that is somebody who is clearly very responsible and good at their job.
And so they started coming in, and at first you're like, oh, 1 or 2, right? I put them aside, and then things really started coming in. And so after I consulted with our ethics folks in Madison, I decided that everything would go to the clerk of courts. She would scan everything in. So whether letters, cards, or if flowers or edibles came, we'd keep a record of that. I did receive some emails directly. It's not hard to figure out court officials' email. They're out there on the internet. And so I just would forward everything printed off. And honestly, I really haven't had a chance to look through them. I mean, it was overwhelming. But
is it something that you hope to go back and look at them and respond to them?
I won't respond to them because I still have a pending case, and but now that sentencing is over, and at some point I'll make a decision.
Mr. Harlan, thank you. Will, she's married. Her husband's got a good retirement plan as well. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you, Mr. Harlan. I'm glad to hear that.
When it's appropriate to review them, and I'd certainly like to do that. From what I understand, at least from some of the news reports, I mean, I think overwhelmingly were positive. A couple of criticisms but that goes with the territory. So
will you
Y'all need to
still have
behave.
all
Stop
the
it.
attention? I mean, I think even someone dressed up as you for Halloween.
that was amazing because, as I understand it, people were inspired as as a woman, and then young girls were inspired. I've had people come up to me and people that I know say, my daughter's rethinking what she wants to do for a career because of what she saw you do and how you handled yourself. So that was really heartwarming, overwhelming, that people would choose to, I think, do it as a way to honor, not as a joke or a ridicule. I even went to my friend's Halloween party, and unbeknownst to me, she was dressed up as me. I walk in her door and she is dressed up as me. I mean, I had tears in my eyes. I'm like, that was really overwhelming.
So how does that make you feel as a mother and as a judge that young girls are looking at you and saying, maybe that's what I can do?
One of my crowning achievements is being a working mom. I might get a little emotional when I talk about that, because not everyone is told, right, that they can.
This reminds me of, I feel so guilty. This reminds me of a line in a movie. Like, see, I can't, yeah, y'all are making jokes, and I was making jokes too, but the truth is I very, very much respect this woman, and I'm sure she has a fantastic, amazing home. It's the nuclear family. She's got the husband. She's a career mom. Kids are athletes. They work. They go to school. Like, she's just a badass. Like, listen, I would ruin a woman like this. I'm not a husband. I am not husband material. Let me be very clear about who I am, folks. I am not. I am not a husband. Okay, I'm a ruiner. I am a dirty little secret. That's what I am. This is not. The line I was thinking of comes from this movie. I think it's called. Oh yeah. It's High Fidelity. And John Cusack says that he says I couldn't sleep with her because it would be like sleeping with Talia Shire and Rocky if you weren't Rocky. I feel guilty enough as it is.
Have it all. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of sacrifice. But to teach my children, whether my sons or my daughters, that you can work hard, you can be a public servant, you can have a career and still have your family, and encourage them and hopefully inspire them. That to me was so overwhelming, and just amazing.
Thank you for the super sticker, Mad Catter.
That way for doing what I love to do, and that's my job.
How did your children react to, hey, that's our mom?
They were constantly getting text messages or probably Snapchats and other types of messages from their friends on social media, and sending me videos to watch and things like that. And they were pretty excited. They thought it was really neat.
Were there role models for you? I mean, we had talked earlier, but your career, you decided to go into law after thinking about journalism.
Yes.
But were there role models for you?
I go back to law school and had some professors that really made an impact on me. One professor, I was able to work as his research assistant, and he had been the Attorney General of Guam. He had been the prosecutor on a case, Illinois versus Gates. And so we had kind of a bird's eye view, and it was a search warrant case. So had a bird's eye view into that, and just really fell in love with criminal law. Did an internship while I was in law school for a prosecutor's office in Virginia Beach. There was one woman there who...
She reminds me of Sarah Palin with brains.
It was fun to watch her. I had some classmates who were a little bit older as well, who law was a second career to them. And just as things unfolded, I really fell in love with criminal law, wanted to come back home and be a prosecutor. And of course, kind of in the back of my mind, always thinking about the role of a judge and what that means. And I think in Wisconsin, we have two incredible, actually three, probably more, but 2 to 3 that really, really have made a difference to me. And that's Justice Rogensack, Justice Ziegler, who's our Chief Justice, and Judge Diane Sykes, who's now with the 7th Circuit. I mean, all strong women, all women who have raised families while doing their jobs and doing them well. So I've had some great role models here in Wisconsin.
Well, you talked about some high-profile role models as well. And some people are wondering, what's next for Judge Dorow? Are you interested in running for the Wisconsin Supreme Court?
What I can tell you is I've been overwhelmed with the outpouring of support and encouragement to consider a.
Okay, so she was just asked if she was planning to run for the Supreme Court, which I hope she does. I think she would be fantastic.
Run for the Supreme Court. I like to consider all my options, right? I want to weigh things and certainly talk to my family and make a decision over the next couple of days, whether that's something that.
It's a lot to think about.
Right. It's whether it's something I'm interested in, whether
And it's extremely time consuming too. I mean, we don't know like how involved she is with her kids. Obviously they have extracurricular activities and that sort of thing. And she is a full-time mom, you know, on top of being a full-time judge. So, you know, it's a lot to consider. I would not hold it against her if she decided not to run at all. It's a hell of a decision to make.
It's something that I think is important to do. Of course, it's important. Again, just overwhelmed by the show of support and encouragement to consider doing that. I love being a public servant, and that's where my heart is in terms of career, is that whatever I do, I want to continue serving the people in Wisconsin and Waukesha County.
A lot of times when I talk to people, you know, sometimes they're encouraged to run and sometimes they look at it and they want to run. But are you getting the encouragement to run?
I am. Yeah, it's been overwhelming. It's been incredible, the people who have reached out to me and encouraged me to do this.
And the timeline is pretty quick here. I mean, the primary is less than 3 months away. Nomination papers, I think, start later this week. So do you feel a sense of urgency about all of that?
No doubt.
When you look at what you set out to do in terms of what you wanted to do as a judge and how this whole trial unfolded.
This Black Friday, get loud at Guitars.
I have to address a comment that I see in chat. Jennifer Ray says that she didn't think she was a good judge at all during this case. Okay. I'll indulge you. Why not? Why not? Now, mind you, you make comments in here. Don't get mad at my response. Don't get mad at me.
It turned out for you and the community when you look at what your job was for them.
Again, well, I don't want to comment on the specifics of the case because it is still there's a pending motion, and he has.
I'm in a nice mood. This lady, this lady has inspired me to be patient and nice. So it's your lucky day, Jennifer Ray. I'll indulge you here and I'll explain. You said that she seems very nice, but I thought she let him get away with too much. Fair enough. I thought that at first too. That's another reason why I'm going to be nice when I answer this question. I thought that at first too. Then I had a criminal attorney in my chat, and her name is Mystery Maven Esquire. She has a channel. It's called Mystery Maven Esquire. Please subscribe. And she explained that what she was doing was not giving him any room to file an appeal. He was obviously wasting the court's time. He was obviously stalling. He was obviously doing everything he could to get a mistrial called. He was trying to get everything done to be held in contempt, so that he could try to say that his rights were violated and then he could appeal. She didn't want any judge to have to deal with this idiot ever again. So she was extremely patient, even though it seems to the layman, it might seem like she was being weak, but what she was doing was being very strategic. So that's, like I said, Jennifer Ray, I understand it looked that way. But once it was explained to me about appeals and what she was doing and her strategy, it all made perfect sense.
As certainly appellate rights. What I would say is this: my role as a judge is part gatekeeper, part guardian. I have a saying: I like to do things right the first time. And so, with an eye toward making sure everything goes smoothly, it's done according to the law, and I apply the law to the facts. And so, from my perspective, I would say I did that pretty well. And beyond that, I don't, want to comment any further.
Sure. Glad it's over. Bruce, did you meet our reporter Bruce, who was covering the trial?
I'm not sure that I met
Now,
him.
there's about a minute and 40 seconds left of this, but I'm going to go ahead and say that I think it's actually, I'll just let it play and then I'll share my thoughts.
What did you do during recess in the trial? Were you able to do anything? Did you have any moments during recess?
Sometimes I'd make coffee. Other times I'd make tea.
Other times I was chugging vodka.
The reason for the recess, I might be on the phone with colleagues. Exactly. I have a pending caseload that before the trial was under 500, and of course after the trial has grown a little bit beyond that. And so I have other cases, right? I had mail coming in, so I'd have to get on my computer. I'd have to review my mail. I'd have to make, decisions on other things, keep all of that going. Again, I have a great staff. They did a wonderful job, and they know, generally what I do when mail comes in and things of that nature. But as they say, the job had to continue. It's so cliche, but it's not my only case. And right now I have over 500 other cases that I have to, yeah. So we have a big docket here in Waukesha County. And anyone will probably tell you if they appear in front of me regularly, I like to keep my cases going. I like to bring cases to resolution. And there's no better way to do that than to keep cases on the trial calendar.
Well, we thank you for your time. Did I miss anything or that you want? Okay.
No, thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just pull up for so we'll get a couple.
Yeah, just want to get a couple shots.
Now, again, once that appeal thing was explained to me, a lot of things make sense moving forward. Like, if you noticed, at no point did she comment or was even asked about her her patience with Darrell Brooks during that trial and how did she get through it and blah blah blah. There were questions that kind of alluded to that, but there was nothing about that, and you could tell that she was already like, I'm not going to comment on that. You can already tell. And again, that would still, I would imagine, if she attacks him publicly, maybe that's grounds for appeal. I don't know if it would be grounds for appeal, but she's probably obviously just being very, ethical, obviously just being a classy person. Besides that, there's probably a legal reason along those lines, that she was not going to comment and discuss Darrell Brooks and how she was treated during that trial. So kudos to her for that. So yeah, I think it would be great if she ran for Supreme Court. But I mean, we have a little peek into her personal life, and obviously she's a very busy, very just a stand-up lady. And so you could tell that she's, if she does that, it's gonna be in the best interest of not just her but her family as well. And if she doesn't do it, it's going to be in the best interest of not just her but her family as well. So and I respect that very, very much. Also, folks, I did tag Quentin Simon in the in the title there, because there's a slight update, and I'm going to go ahead and read the statement from Chatham County. Says here, the following was released moments ago by the FBI. FBI Atlanta confirms partial remains of Quentin Simon recovered. The FBI Laboratory Division has confirmed through DNA analysis the bones found in the Superior landfill are those of missing 20-month-old Quentin Simon. Chatham County authorities have charged Simon's mother, Leilani Simon, with murder and other related offenses. On Monday, November 28th, authorities officially ceased operations at the landfill and began removing command post facilities from El Scottsdale Park. The FBI is thankful for the partnership with Chief Hadley and the entire Chatham County Police Department. A monumental team effort was put forth by everyone involved in bringing closure to this horrific situation. The 5-week search to find Quentin would not have been successful without the dedicated service of several groups. The FBI and Chatham County PD would like to offer their sincere thanks to the following: the management and workers at Waste Management Superior Landfill. This situation was thrust upon them, and the waste management team was extremely cooperative and offered their equipment, time, and expertise throughout the search. The forensic anthropologists from Georgia Southern University, who were on site every day verifying any potential human finds. The experts from Team Adam and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, who provided invaluable technical insights. The agents, officers, and deputies from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, Chatham County Sheriff's Office, and the Georgia Department of Natural Resources, who all devoted their time to participate in the landfill search. Quentin Simon's case and the legal proceedings against his mother are now in the hands of the Chatham County District Attorney's Office. Any further questions should be directed to District Attorney Shalana Cook Jones. So yeah, sad, of course, that Quentin was he's no longer with us. It's confirmed that he's no longer with us. Of course, that's very sad, but at the same time, there's at least that closure to where we know what happened to him, and hopefully, I have no doubt actually that he will get justice and he will rest in peace. Hopefully this doesn't go to trial. Hopefully Leilani takes accountability and pleads guilty to these charges. And we don't have 12 jurors who have to sit there and look at horrible evidence. And we could spare these court officers any trauma from the evidence collected in a crime as heinous as this. So hopefully she takes accountability, pleads guilty, and that'll be it. Yeah, so yeah, very sad, but it was really interesting to see what went into that search. The search that these idiots, these hecklers, these clowns, these boobs that were there in Savannah because also hopefully this doesn't go to trial, because who knows how they could have affected the trial. Who knows if they're going to try to use the harassment that they endured as some sort of way to sway the jury. I mean, who knows? I hope that she pleads guilty. I don't want to see these idiots get any more publicity from that. And yeah, I absolutely hope she pleads guilty and just goes to prison quietly. And speaking of which, that brings me to my next subject. Tonight, folks, at 8:30 p.m., I will be on Burnt Toast's channel. We will be going over some Betty, some Jared, stuff like that. We're going to have some fun with it. Monty from the Hannibal and Monty Shit Show will be joining us too. So the three of us, I've had the two of them together on this channel before. They celebrated my 500th stream with me, and I had a blast with them. So I know we're going to have a good time. I've been on panel with them on Monty's channel as well, and had a blast. So I don't see how this is going to be any different. So make sure, if you're not subscribed, I mean, unless you've been living in a cave, you should know who Burnt Toast is in this community. So, but if you have been living in a cave or under a rock, be sure to subscribe to Burnt Toast and set your reminder for that, because it's going to be a good time. Sweet and sour, I don't understand the question. What do you mean? What is it for me now? What is what for me now? Oh, what time is it for you now? It'll be 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So yeah. So 5:30 Pacific, 7:30 Central. And whatever time you are in England, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what time that's going to be. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. So I think that she's got a lot to talk about. I think we're going to talk about JLR too, which should be fun. That dude's a old penis stump. The part that Lorena left behind. So I think we're probably going to talk about him too, because she tried, or what? I'm sorry, JLR tried to. He kept copyright striking her, claiming that her logo, her avatar, is his design. And I mean, he knows he couldn't approve that. I mean, I'm not going to get too deep into it. I'll let Burnt Toast get into that tonight. But obviously, she fought it and won, and now she's back on her regular channel. So. Oh yeah, yeah, and obviously, we're going to continue talking about the Idaho murders. Once there's yeah, his face looks like somebody's fucking foreskin for real. Once there's an update, right now we don't have any updates regarding that horrible tragedy, the quadruple murder in Moscow, Idaho. Yeah, he does always look bugged out. Okay, so it's currently 11:07 in the UK. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, man. Becky G, get with it. What are my thoughts about BHB possibly going to Mexico? I think you know my thoughts on that. I mean, it's real convenient. It's real convenient that it's you know a very happening vacation spot that case is taking place. It's real convenient. Laura P, I know what you mean when you say I hope she goes. So here's the thing, because she's stuck. If she decides to go to Mexico and she ends up not doing anything, not yelling through a bullhorn in front of the police station or wherever the fuck she plans on doing it, or in front of the house of somebody involved or whatever the fuck, she's yeah. So if she doesn't do this, right? See that she's stuck between a rock and a hard place, because if she does not do this, she's basically ripping off her supporters, and she's going there just for a vacation, and she's proving that she's a grifting fucking scam artist. But I think that she plans on vacationing and having a nice time when she's out there anyway, because she's going to be in Cabo, Mexico. But here's the thing, though. Yeah, somebody commented BHB versus the Mexican police. Can't wait to see it. Looking forward to that. Gotta say, looking forward to that. So yeah, because they don't see. Here's the thing about Mexico. Okay, Mexico doesn't have the First Amendment. We do. Mexico doesn't have the First Amendment. They might have something like it, but I'd love to see how her protests fly from a Mexican jail. So yeah, I don't think that she has the guts to protest in Mexico. Just, I want to be very, very clear about that. I do not think that Bullhorn Boob, Megaphone Mary, Betty the Strangler has the audacity or the bravery or the tenacity to protest in Mexico. I would hope that she has the stupidity to. I definitely hope that. Which, we'll see. We'll see. But no, I don't think that she has the guts. I think that she's a coward. That's what I think. I hope she's listening too. I think that you're a coward. I don't think that you'll take your Bullhorn Betty third person attitude. You don't know who you're messing with. You're messing with Bullhorn Betty. I don't think that you'll take that to Mexico. No. You don't have the fortitude. You won't do it. Guaranteed. No doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind. What she's going to do is she's just going to prove to all of her, if she goes to Mexico, she's just going to prove to all of her supporters that she grifts money to go on lavish vacations. And that's it. She goes to these towns to party. Part of the yelling, that's a party for her too, because she's an abusive person by nature, which we know. So she's an abusive person by nature, and she enjoys getting to hide behind the First Amendment while she harasses and verbally abuses people. So, yeah. But if she goes to Idaho now, yeah, and I know fucking Chris McDumbass is in Idaho right now, just doing his bullshit. But yeah. And I think that she would crawl deep inside his ass if she was there in Idaho. Just try to snug up next to him and try to get all his subs. And I don't even think he's that dumb to link up with her. So And yeah, so, and I was in Duty Ron's chat yesterday. I'll close with this. I was in Duty Ron's chat, and Duty Ron's cool. I like Duty Ron. And he confronted me about something because people were accusing him of stealing my intro. He didn't steal my intro. My intro is made, and his is made the same way, because you could just tell. My intro is something that you don't even have to know how to. The editing is done for you. It's a little program. It's a little feature in iMovie where you can make your own like movie trailer type thing, and that's all I used. And I just put my reface clips in the spots. You know, it's a little time consuming, but it's not like actual like raw editing that a lot of these YouTube creators do and do very well. So no, he didn't steal my intro. It's just we had a we use the same program to make our intros. That's all. It's not that serious. And yes, Duty Ron and Ed. Yeah, this Ed dude, he's new to me. But yeah, I like him a lot. He seems to have a cool sense of humor. I'd love to have him on this channel at some point, and get his expertise. He's a spatter expert, and he knows his stuff. So I would love to get to have a conversation with that guy at some point on this channel. But anyways, I'm going to wrap this up, guys. Do me a favor, hit the like if you haven't already, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And guys, we will do this again very soon, my friends. And by soon, I mean I will see you guys on Burnt Toast channel at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Guys, I love you. Peace.